Hello, fellow instrumentalists, and welcome to the second trial of Vivaldi's Summer, droned double stops. When we say the word stopped in string instruments, all that we're saying is that we're using a finger to stop the string and change the string length, which of course changes the pitch, usually increasing the pitch to a higher tessitura. When we're talking about double stops, all that we're doing differently is we're adding an additional string. But in double stops, not all the time are both strings being fingered. Sometimes we'll use an open string and we'll still call it a double stop. In this video, we're talking about droned double stops as seen in Vivaldi's Summer. All that droned double stops mean is that it's when you're playing two strings at once, but one of the strings, in this case the upper string, is holding a specific note, while the other string is alternating or playing a variety of notes. These droned double stops are the second trial of Vivaldi's Summer. For me, they're the second of four uniquely difficult things about this piece. So I addressed this difficulty in my second etude of my preparatory packet for the Presto of Vivaldi's Summer. God, that name is way too long. I'll play through the etude now, and if you want to skip this demonstration, you can look below for timestamps to go ahead to further explanations. And then we have the second page. In the case of Vivaldi's Summer, we get two kinds of droned double stops. This is in measure 51. And then we have a different kind of droned double stop in measure 74. Alright, in the etude, we're going to address both of these kinds of double stops. Let's take a look at page 1. If we look at the etude, it's clearly broken up into two different pages. The first page addresses the kind of droned double stop in which we're holding an open string. In the first page, you can see here that we're holding an open D while we're navigating up high on the G string. This is meant to tackle the difficulties found in measures 51 through 54 in the Vivaldi Summer. In those measures, and in this etude alike, we're asked to go up high on the G string while allowing the D string to continue to vibrate. This is especially difficult because when we're playing on the G string, especially up high, the strings are increased in height. As we get closer to the bridge or further along the fingerboard, the string's relative height to the fingerboard increases, and so it's harder to actually press the strings down. In addition to this, we have to press our fingers down in such a way that they don't affect the D string vibration. So when you're practicing this etude, I would first practice just playing the G string notes and not worrying about the D string at all, at least not with the bow. And when you're practicing that first page on the G string, I want you to think very closely about your fingertips and the sensations they're reporting back to you. Is your pinky, when it's being placed on the G string, touching the D string at all? Is it grazing the D string even just a little bit? Any slight graze on the D string is going to interrupt the vibration of the D string. Another important thing to understand is that when we're playing this, especially if we get loud, the D string will vibrate even more vigorously. If the D string is vibrating even more vigorously, it's going to move more widely, which means that our left hand is going to need to actually be even more careful and give more room for that D string to vibrate. Generally, when we place our fingers on the string, we're placing them at a pretty significant angle. When trying to clear the D string, like in this etude and in the excerpt, we actually have to place our fingers almost at a complete right angle, almost as if the last joint on our fingers is going straight down onto the fingerboard, rather than usual when it's kind of more at an angle. Similarly to the first page, the second page of the etude has us also droning a note on the top string. In this case, however, our top string is being fingered as well, much like in the measures 74 through 78 in Vivaldi's Summer. The purpose of this page in the etude is to address the difficulties found in measures 74 through 78 in the Presto. That's because this exact same kind of technique is being used there, and yet we only get to practice it for 4 bars. That's one of the other benefits of using an etude, because it allows us to elaborate on these techniques and actually practice them for what they deserve, rather than just practicing the same 4 measures over and over again. The etude allows us to take a step away and elaborate further. Much like in the Vivaldi's Presto, measures 51 through 54, and in the first page of this etude, we still have to have a droned top note on the top string. The difference is that here, our droned top note is fingered, and that provides its own set of difficulties. For one, our intonation is going to be more difficult, because we can't rely on comparing ourselves to a fixed open string. Rather, we have to make sure that that drone note is itself in tune. Secondly, because we have multiple fingers placed down at the same time, we have a natural build in tension in the left hand. So we have to try at all costs to avoid that build, and we have to keep our hand as relaxed as possible. When you've finished learning this etude to the point where it's extremely comfortable, you'll find that the techniques and the skills that you've built with it carry over very nicely to the Vivaldi. You'll find that your hand has been trained to easily clear the vibration of the D string and or the A string or the E string in whatever orientation or double stop that you're playing. This will create a significant ease within these limited sections in the Presto of the Vivaldi. If you found this at all helpful and would like to practice the resources talked about in this video, feel free to pause the video when the music's on screen to get a screen capture. However, if you'd rather download a comprehensive PDF with all the etudes, even a kreutzer, and a copy of the actual Summer Presto itself, you can do so at my website. In fact, that's probably the best way that you can support the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and it'll make sure that you don't miss a future video.